Hello, everyone. Happy Monday morning. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
I'm Scott.
Thank you for joining us today. The natural enhancement of chemicals produced by the body, known as endocannabinoids, may mitigate the addictive properties of opioids like morphine and oxycodone while preserving their pain relieving effects, according to researchers from Weill Cornell Medicine in collaboration with the Center for Youth Mental Health at New York Presbyterian. Endocannabinoids interact with cannabinoid receptors found throughout the body, which play a role in regulating functions such as learning and memory, emotions, sleep, immune response, and appetite. Would you like to know more?
Okay, well, the first thing I got to point out is this endocannabinoid. I would have come up with a different name. Is
Right.
that,
It sounds like cannabis, doesn't it?
yeah. Endocannabinoid 2-AG in the brain can counteract opioid addiction while preserving their pain relief. A Weill Cornell Medicine study finds. This approach, tested in mice using the chemical JZL1, may lead to safer treatments for pain management. Opioids prescribed to control pain can become addictive because they not only dull pain, but also produce a sense of euphoria. The preclinical study published recently in the journal Science Advances may lead to a new type of therapeutic that could be taken with an opioid regimen to only reduce the reward aspects of opioids.
So these people are testing mice, hasn't been tested on humans or gone through the clinicals or trials. So this is like raw research that looks promising. All right. In 2023, opioid abuse or overuse was responsible for more than 80,000 deaths, fueling a national crisis, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Shoot. We get more than that crossing the southern border in 1 month. 80,000.
Yeah, and what about fentanyl, right?
Oh, yeah.
Over 100,000, right? So
Yeah. So, illegally obtaining drugs were ultimately responsible for many deaths, but not all of them. When someone has surgery and is taking opioids for pain management, there's always a risk of developing a dependence on these drugs, said senior author Dr. Francis Lee, chair of the Department of Psychiatry at Weill Cornell Medicine and psychiatrist in chief at New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center. So, I, the VA is so paranoid about addictions that I was taking what was it? Zolpidem. I was taking Zolpidem for sleep to help me with sleep, and they determined that it was addictive, and so um they took me off from it and started giving me melatonin, which I'm fine with melatonin. You got to take 2 hours before you go to sleep. Um, but I just couldn't understand uh, why a sleep medicine would be addictive. But anyways,
well,
I'll
again,
trust them.
do you know what's in it? I've known people that have been prescribed Xanax to help your sleep, and that's pretty potent drug. So, um, but yeah. So do you know what's in that
You know,
pill you were prescribed? What I guess
I, I
that's the
don't
question.
know.
And
Yeah.
so you've had success with melatonin. I've taken melatonin too. Um,
You got to take it 2 hours before you go to sleep. Right around that 2 hour mark, you just run out of juice and you're like, wow, I'm tired.
and how many milligrams you take?
Two 5 milligram tabs,
So
so 10
okay, 10 milligrams.
total.
So
Yeah.
and I mean, and again, not to get personal, but how long is that making you sleep? 6 hours, 8 hours?
Well, no, because I'm getting up to go to the bathroom, so I get up probably twice a night, and I've seen sleep therapists at the VA, really good people that have teach you best practices for sleep, and they're telling me that waking up 2 times a night is normal, is okay.
Oh, it
Four or
is.
5 times is not normal.
Gotcha. All right. So the co-senior author is Dr. Anjali Rajayakasha. Okay. Adjunct professor of neuroscience research in pediatrics at Weill Cornell Medicine and the director of the Center for Substance Abuse Research at Lewis Katz School of Medicine at Temple University. So, again, from our previous segment where we talked about people getting on us about false information, these are the people that are kind of quoting this kind of stuff. So, all we're doing is just passing it on, right?
Yep.
So the first author, Dr. Arlene Martinez Rivera, was an instructor in Dr. Raja Yakaska's lab at the time of the study and is now an assistant professor at the Koch School of Medicine. So
I hope our viewers enjoy how I like to punish Scott with these words. It's pretty funny to see Scott butcher them.
yeah, my apologies if any of these doctors or scientists are paying attention or listening to this or find out that I'm the butcher of the names. So
Love it. Okay, none of the researchers were studying opioids when they started this project. Dr. Lee was investigating the role of endocannabinoids in fear and anxiety. Next door, Dr. Rajat Hayaksha was studying mouse models of cocaine addiction. Okay, at least they weren't doing it on beagles like Dr. Fauci. They
yeah,
decided to work together when reports in the literature suggested that the opioid system could potentially interact with the endocannabinoid system's complex networks of chemicals and receptors. Again, communicating and talking to each other led to this joint research. Pretty awesome when they're just talking to each other. Oh yeah. Okay. Just as opioids stimulate the brain's reward system to release dopamine, so do the naturally occurring endocannabinoids and related drugs such as tetrahydrocannabinol, THC. That's a mouthful. Tetrahydrocannabinol. The
yeah. See,
substance,
anyway, okay. I mean, I've heard of THC before,
yeah,
um, but not,
that'll get you booted out of the army. THC.
yeah, but that has to do with. Well, anyway, it's okay. We'll
Has to
take.
do with weed,
Yeah,
right?
and
With
yeah,
with
exactly. But
Buddha.
I've never heard it called tetrahydrocannabinol.
Well,
So
yeah, the THC is the substance in weed or Mary J or marijuana.
tetrahydrocycline is what I remember THC
Oh,
being.
cycling.
I believe, but I'm not a scientist.
Oh,
So, but anyway, it's all right.
okay. All right. Although they have similar effects, endocannabinoids and THC both act through cannabinoid receptors, and opioids interact with different receptors.
Got it. Surprisingly, the findings also upend the central dogma in the opioid field that combining endocannabinoids and opioids should exacerbate addictive behaviors in a synergistic way.
You'd think combining them would make it worse. You'd think.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a quote. By both of us not being members of the opioid field, we came up with a counterintuitive idea that one system might actually block the other system from having effects on reward, said Dr. Lee, who was also a professor of neuroscience at the Family, Brain, and Mind Research Institute at Weill Cornell Medicine. Okay, so maybe these guys are communicating together, right?
Yeah.
Running with the idea that Dr. Martinez Rivera tested elevating the two main endocannabinoids, first anandamide,
Yep.
anandamide,
Anandamide.
okay, abbreviation AEA, and then 2AG in mice. We got lots of negative results initially while studying the AEA, and we were actually going to give up on the project, she said. But then we switched to 2AG and got positive findings. Again, I'm fascinated by this because I mean, obviously you can't talk to mice. So what are they doing? Are they got
They're
something?
probably acting out. something.
Studying their brain waves or their actions or
Well,
what.
if they're in pain, they're probably maybe whimpering or moving around, like agitated, if they're in pain. If they're at rest and happy, they're just kind of sitting there, okay.
Okay. Increasing the levels of 2-AG counteracts the rewarding properties of opioids, dampening behaviors associated with opioid addiction, yet still controlling pain in a mouse model. So I guess that's what they're in my simple way of looking at it, they're trying to find something that is not mind altering to make you think you don't have the pain, and
Right. But
relieving the
it's not
pain.
addictive. Yeah,
Right. Because I mean,
exactly.
again, that's the idea, right? When you're taking a pill or something to try and get rid of the pain, I've known people that have said, like for pain management, they've said, yeah, we get a shot every 3 months. And after a couple of weeks, I need another one, but I can't get another one for, two and
Two
a
and
half
a half
months.
months.
And it's like your mind is getting used to the pain, or you feel. My mom, for instance, just an example, my mom was on pain management, and when she would say after a short period of time that it's not working, but yet the doctor explained to me was it's working, because if it wasn't working, she would be just miserable, and
More
so
miserable than.
more miserable, yeah, more outlying or outgoing miserable than she would be if she wasn't taking
Yeah.
it. So anyway, it's a mind over matter, I guess, kind of thing. So but anyway.
The researchers used a chemical called JZL 184 that prevents 2-AG from breaking down, thereby decreasing the level of this endocannabinoid in the brain. In separate assays, the team found less addiction associated behavior when mice were treated with a low dose of JZL 184 before being given morphine or oxycodone. In pain assays, mice treated with JZL 184 still appeared to experience the pain relieving effects of morphine and oxycodone. This suggests, quote, that endocannabinoids and opioids may not act together in areas of the brain and spinal cord involved in analgesia. That's my cat. That's
Oh,
Jabba the Buff right there.
okay.
Stop whining, Baba. Okay. In contrast, their interaction in brain regions is involved in decreasing reward and dependence.
Additional experiments showed that 2-AG exerts its effect through the CB1 cannabinoid receptor in the ventral tegmental area. Okay. A group of neurons in the midbrain that plays a key role in reward and motivation. Elevating 2-AG levels also reduced dopamine signaling, a key element of the reward system. Again, quote, this is one of the first examples showing that engaging the endocannabinoid system can have an antagonistic effect on another reward system. In this case, the opioid system, Dr. Rajaganshaya said.
Oh man, you're gonna punch me in the face next time you see me.
Jeez.
Yeah, so this is hopefully this is promising. Hopefully it can get to trials, clinicals, and uh, anything that could stop opioid addiction. I'm all for. You know, it's a real thing that affects people.
So something that will reduce the pain or help the pain, but not alter your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, going back to, I think it's, again, my mom, she was prescribed, and she was a little thing. She was about 4'10", and she weighed about 70 pounds, 80 pounds, little tiny thing. And the doctor had prescribed Norco. And she would wake up in the middle of the night screaming that she thought she was on the edge of a cliff, getting ready to fall off when she was lying down in her bed. So the
Oh,
doctor,
wow, that's mind altering. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I've heard of other things like that. It's like it
Wow.
causes hallucinations. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so that's scary. So why couldn't they just prescribe, again, I mean, this is from one end to the other, but why couldn't
Tylenol 3.
they prescribe Tylenol 3 or codeine with Tylenol? And I know that codeine affects some people's digestive system, so that's kind of um, a negative side to that. But I mean, that's crazy. And if somebody had not been with her, I mean, she was living with us at the time that she was taking that. I mean, who knows who would have been able to be there to walk her down, or talk her down off this mind altered cliff. So
Cliff. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, kind of scary. So, but don't take drugs.
Yeah. All right, folks. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you this afternoon. Have a great
Take care.
day.
Have a good day. Thanks.